easier to just go to the moon.
Look at the rebirth of our interest in returning to the moon with the Artemis program.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, the renowned astrophysicist and science communicator, recently made waves across scientific and online communities by discussing a revelation that has stirred imaginations around the world. According to Tyson, China has finally uncovered something on the moon that NASA had either concealed or at the very least failed to disclose in its entirety. While the claim itself is bold, the implications are far more profound than the surface-level excitement it has generated. It points to a shifting tide in global space exploration, a rekindling of public fascination with the moon, and deeper questions about transparency, sovereignty in space, and the potential for extraterrestrial discoveries. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The moon has long been a stage for the geopolitical and scientific theater of humankind. For decades, it stood as the Cold War's ultimate frontier, with the United States and the Soviet Union pouring billions into space missions in a symbolic race for technological dominance. NASA's Apollo program marked the first human steps on lunar soil, and since then, the space agency has gathered a wealth of data, samples, and imagery. However, in the years that followed, a veil of mystery seemed to descend over much of what was discovered. Classified documents, incomplete public releases, and restricted footage have led many to speculate about the true extent of NASA's lunar findings. Tyson's disclosure comes at a time when China's space agency, CNSA, has rapidly accelerated its own lunar ambitions. With the Chang'e missions, China has landed rovers, retrieved lunar soil, and mapped vast swaths of the moon's surface with high-resolution imaging. Their efforts have not only impressed international observers, but have challenged the long-standing monopoly of lunar data once held by NASA. According to Tyson, what China recently found on the moon isn't merely a geological anomaly or a technical accomplishment. Instead, it is something that suggests there was more to NASA's early missions than they were willing to share. At the heart of the revelation is a particular region near the far side of the moon, an area largely hidden from Earth's view and historically underexplored. When China's Chang'e 4 rover began its survey of this mysterious zone, it transmitted data that caught the attention of researchers worldwide. The initial findings pointed to unusual magnetic fields and materials that did not match the expected lunar composition. As analysis progressed, high-resolution images revealed structured formations, geometric, symmetrical, and unlike anything formed through natural processes. These formations, Tyson suggests, were not entirely unknown to NASA. He hinted that during earlier Apollo missions, similar anomalies had been observed, photographed, and quietly tucked away from public records. The idea that NASA might have discovered, and hidden, structured formations on the moon is a serious one. It implies either an intentional suppression of extraterrestrial evidence or a cautious, strategic decision to delay release until its implications could be fully understood. Tyson's credibility as a scientist lends weight to the discussion, even if he did not declare the formations to be of alien origin outright. Instead, his focus was on transparency and the importance of a shared scientific legacy. If these structures are natural, then they represent unknown geologic processes. If they are artificial, the implications stretch into the domain of non-human intelligence and the possible remnants of ancient technology. China's confirmation of the structures now places the United States in an uncomfortable position. For decades, the assumption was that American missions had explored the most crucial lunar sites. China's findings challenge this, revealing not only gaps in publicly released data, but also suggesting that significant locations were left untouched or unreported by earlier missions. Tyson noted that China's data has been remarkably detailed and freely shared within the international community of scientists. This openness stands in contrast to the classified nature of some NASA lunar documents, especially those from the 1970s and early 80s, which remain inaccessible even today. The global response to Tyson's statements has been a mixture of intrigue and skepticism. For the scientific community, the priority is now verification. If China's data proves valid, and if the formations hold even a remote possibility of artificial origin, the current models of lunar history will need to be rewritten. The moon, previously considered a barren satellite, might instead hold relics of unknown processes or civilizations. This would affect not just planetary science, but anthropology, archaeology, and even philosophy. The question of whether humanity is alone in the universe would take on a new and pressing dimension. Public fascination with the moon has surged as a result of the revelation. Online forums, scientific journals, and media outlets have ignited with discussions about what exactly China found and whether NASA truly had knowledge of it decades ago. Tyson's remarks fueled this discourse not by making sensational claims, but by urging transparency and open scientific inquiry. The mystery is not just in what lies on the lunar surface, but why it took a rival nation to bring it to the world's attention. The moon, once the site of Cold War rivalry, has once again become a geopolitical chessboard, with information as the newest currency. The implications go beyond science and into the realm of politics. China's success in revealing data that suggests hidden knowledge by NASA is more than a technological victory. It is a strategic maneuver in the ongoing race for space dominance. With NASA focusing its future plans on Mars and deep space, China's lunar concentration is paying dividends. Tyson pointed out that China's space program operates with a singular national goal, often unencumbered by the political fluctuations and budgetary constraints that affect NASA. This enables China to pursue long-term, high-stakes projects like lunar-based development, deep drilling, and extensive surface mapping. The structures in question, reportedly found in an area near the South Pole Aitken Basin, are not massive but intricate. Images show what appear to be rectangular patterns, lines intersecting at right angles, and material compositions inconsistent with surrounding terrain. One theory posits that these could be remnants of a meteor impact that fused lunar soil into unnatural shapes. Another hypothesis, more controversial, is that they could be the remains of an artificial installation, a probe, a satellite, or even a long-dead outpost of unknown origin. Tyson didn't declare either as fact, but emphasized that hiding such findings undermines the spirit of global scientific cooperation. More than just sparking curiosity, the discovery raises existential questions. If these structures are artificial and not man-made, who or what created them? When? And why? Could the moon have once served as a monitoring station? An ancient archive? A relay post in a broader galactic network? These are speculative questions, but they arise naturally in light of Tyson's assertion and China's data. The scientific method demands inquiry, not silence. And Tyson called for a renewed international focus on the moon, not just for mineral exploration or tourism, but for uncovering potential truths buried beneath its regolith. The moon may seem static and lifeless, but discoveries like this challenge our perception of what is possible. Just as Earth holds archaeological treasures buried beneath its soil, the moon might be a repository of cosmic secrets. China's find, and Tyson's spotlight on it, could mark the beginning of a new era in space science. Missions from India, the European Space Agency, and private companies like SpaceX may now prioritize the regions identified by China. International competition may, ironically, accelerate collaborative efforts, especially if the findings demand consensus on what constitutes evidence of artificial origin. The strategic implications are also staggering. If non-human technology, even fragments, exist on the moon, controlling that territory could become a new priority for nations. Space law, as outlined in the Outer Space Treaty, prohibits national ownership of celestial bodies, but how would it address the possession or study of alien artifacts? Tyson didn't address legal frameworks directly, but his remarks hinted at the need for a global dialogue. Knowledge of such magnitude cannot be monopolized without ethical consequences. Science, by its nature, must be democratic, not proprietary. Another layer of complexity comes from the public reaction. While the scientific community urges caution and skepticism, the general population thrives on wonder. Tyson's announcement has inadvertently energized groups long interested in extraterrestrial phenomena. For them, this is vindication. The moon is not a dead rock, but a mystery waiting to be unlocked. While some of this excitement may verge on conspiracy or fantasy, it also reflects a genuine hunger for deeper truths, especially in a world often dominated by surface-level distractions. China, for its part, has released data with calculated precision. They have neither confirmed nor denied the nature of the structures, instead allowing images and findings to speak for themselves. This strategic ambiguity serves their interests. It keeps global attention on their space program, forces NASA into a reactive stance, and fosters international dependence on Chinese data. Tyson's role in this isn't as a whistleblower, but as a bridge, bringing China's discovery into the Western consciousness with credibility and clarity. His revelation doesn't just expose what may have been hidden, it invites a re-evaluation of the entire moon mission narrative. Why did lunar exploration slow after Apollo? What were the unspoken motivations behind choosing certain landing sites and avoiding others? Were there internal NASA debates about public disclosure? Tyson has not answered these questions directly, but his statement opens the door for deeper investigation. It suggests that what we know about the moon and what we believe we know are not entirely aligned. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on China's discovery? Will it expose what NASA hid on Moon? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.